Well, wrestling is often considered by many a scripted affair. Most wrestlers know and have predicted the future outcome of their work because they put in a lot of effort to make sure that their bodies fit into the type of work they are doing. These professional wrestlers put their bodies at risk every time they step in the ring. Even though it is scripted, it doesn't mean everything that takes place inside the ring is scripted. If you don't believe this, stay tuned as we will be sharing top moments involving WWE superstars who almost died in the ring. Let's take you back to the end of the 20th century, in the weeks leading up to the 1999 Royal Rumble. A special Royal Rumble match took place on Raw. Members of Cooperation would have to compete against DX for the last spot in the Royal Rumble. Then Vince McMahon entered the ring and looked like he had won until Chyna entered the ring. McMahon's stooges tried to back her off, but she refused. Soon, Stone Cold appeared and successfully distracted McMahon. Meanwhile, Chyna was able to throw him down. As he was falling through, Vince McMahon's head caught in the bottom rope and his neck got twisted badly. The chairman laid lifeless for a few moments afterward, but thankfully it didn't cost him his life. See what happened back in 2018. A match was scheduled between the reigning world champion Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles. Lesnar and Paul Heyman went on Raw a week before to talk about the match. But this was interrupted by Jinder Mahal, accompanied by his Bollywood boys. They were not there to put up a fight. Actually, they wanted the Beast to relax. Brock Lesnar didn't take it very well and ended up attacking them. He took the Indian star to the Suplex City. At the start, the situation was funny, but it took a scary turn when Sunil Singh landed on his neck and bounced off the ring. After 10 seconds, Lesnar again picked him up for the second Suplex City. Luckily, he didn't die, but eluded death by a little margin. Next, the TLC pay-per-view is one of the brutal contests that WWE arranges almost every year. It shouldn't come as a surprise that this event had some near-death incidents. In the first TLC event back in 2009, Big Show and Chris Jericho took on Shawn Michaels and Triple H. In the final moments of the match, we see Chris Jericho standing on his partner's shoulder to take the belt. HBK hit the Big Show with sweet chin music, causing Y2J to fall to the outside. The plan was to make Chris Jericho fall on the table to lessen the impact. What happened instead was that Jericho's head hit severely on the side of the table. It looked painful, but no one thought it would be life-threatening. However, in 2020, Chris Jericho shared a tweet related to the incident and told the audience that it nearly cost him his life. Then in this list, we have Marty Garner. You might not know him that well, but he makes it into today's list. He was in a fight with Triple H when he had a near-death experience. He sustained a severe injury and went unconscious as a result of the pedigree. Soon he was taken to the hospital, where thank God he returned to his senses. Next, in 2019, the much-anticipated contest between Goldberg and The Undertaker turned into a complete nightmare. The first major accident occurred when Goldberg hit his head on the ring post, causing him to bleed. But the match continued, and unfortunately, that was not all. Later, when Goldberg tried to perform his famous jackhammer on The Undertaker, the move failed and The Undertaker came crashing down on his head. It looked bad, and The Undertaker went on to say later that he was 2 inches away from making his wife a widow and his children fatherless. The first Elimination Chamber match back in 2002 had its fair share of issues, the worst of which was that a man nearly died. At one step in the match, Triple H was on a mat and RVD decided to go for a 5-star frog splash. Of course, being Van Damme, he went a step further and climbed on top of the booth. There wasn't much space for him to stand, so he crouched. Due to the awkward position, RVD's knees landed on Triple H's throat. It blocked the airway and he hardly could have breathed. Triple H stayed at a local hospital overnight and he was out of the action for a few weeks.